Hello, family. How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone is doing well. Let's talk about it. 20K, they have captured one more inmate. We already said that was going to happen. Once they put 20K on each one of those inmates, we already knew they was going to be captured within a couple of days. So they only have one now. Somebody turned them in, but we're going to talk about it, family. We're going to talk about how it happened, how he got caught, and those 20K is good for somebody. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. And then Ryan Hinton, the coroner, has now spoken, broke her silence, and now she's telling about the autopsy. Oh, we got a lot to talk about, family, here. Yes. And Diddy, of course, his trial, day 8. And it was pretty interesting, but it wasn't, like I thought it would be today, like a slam dunk type of testimony or something like that. That didn't go on today. Bay Solo. Hello, Bay Solo. So good to see you. So good to see you. I'm getting my thing together. Give me a few minutes, Bay Solo. And then I'm getting up here in the chat. How is everything doing, Bay Solo? Does it feel good to have Napoleon in the house? Yes. Cause you there. Did you go to the his inauguration? I know it was nice. I already know it was nice, Bay Solo. Yes. Hi there. I'm making sure I set my channel so I can be here. Okay. I was just at D. Jacqueline Brown. Salute, family. I'm going to give people a little bit more time to get in, but definitely I'm wishing y'all the best of luck, Bay Solo. I already know. M. Mac, salute. M. Mac, moderator in the house. Bay Solo, moderator in the house. Oh, Bay Solo, you live streamed Napoleon's inauguration. That's so awesome. Hold on, y'all. Yeah. So I'm just happy for y'all, Bay Solo. I'm so happy for y'all, and I know that y'all gonna feel real good having a new person in the seat besides that mud wilding hen. Yes, because she really had to go. I'm so proud of y'all. So proud of y'all. Y'all did it as a community, and that's the good thing. I'm getting Christopher Clark, his stuff out as well. Yeah, because Christopher Clark, we gotta ride his bumper. For sure. Christopher Clark is off the chain. They say Christopher Clark is off the chain. So we definitely got to do something with Christopher Clark. We got to start riding his bumper. Kendall Earl in the house. Another moderator in the house. Shanita. Hello. Shanita. Landa, how you doing? Melissa Keys, what's going on? Salute to y'all all. Thank y'all so much for joining tonight, this evening. This one, I'm going to kind of run through it when it comes to Diddy, because it was like, y'all will see, it was good, but you know, I was really expecting for a knockout when it came to the investigator that went into Diddy's home and searched Diddy's home. They really didn't give us a lot, family. And I was like, okay, so that's it. Then they say he can get off the stand. Now, whether they're going to call him back, Diddy's team, the defense team, I doubt it. But he was more so prosecutor, like, hey, you know, we found this, we found that. And it wasn't as hard as I thought. Then you had an expert come up there that Diddy and them team just basically did her like they did Dawn. And her testimony fell apart like wet bread. I'm telling you. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna go head on and we're gonna get right on into it. But y'all remember when Ryan's autopsy was supposed to come out, and the coroner had set a day last week to tell the public the findings of his autopsy. And then all of a sudden, the day that she was getting ready to do her conference with everybody and tell everybody, they subpoenaed her. So she didn't know what to do. Subpoena means, you can't say nothing right now because we are subpoenaing, you about the information you found. So, everybody was like, oh, that's not right. Why are they doing that? And so I guess she said herself that in 30 years, family, she has never seen a coroner get a subpoena. Not in that area. You know what I'm saying? She said that has never happened to her before. So she was trying to figure out why did it happen to her now. And she said when she looked at the history of it, she said in 30 years, over 30 years, nobody has ever subpoenaed a coroner. So why now? So she said she looked deep down into it and she saw some of the laws and things that she still is able to release autopsy. So when she gave it to, I think, the family, and then, of course, I think it must have leaked or spread. And some of the information, it seemed like it was going a little wrong, she said, on the internet. So she just went on and she came out. And she said, look, this is what it is. And this is my findings. So now I don't know if they heated at her for doing, but she did it. She did it. And she said she works close with the community. Not only is she a coroner, she says she does some type of organization to where she helps the community a lot. So she's very close with the community. So she said she couldn't even see herself holding the information away from the public that she helps every day. So she went on ahead and did it anyway. Yeah, she went on ahead and did it anyway, regardless. Hey, Clay G Beats. Salute to Clay G Beats. Yes. Check out his channel. He has his own original music and all that. Yes. Good evening. How you doing? But so y'all listen. I want y'all to basically listen to what she said, because this was the conference that she gave, and she's telling about her findings of the autopsy. Now check it out. Understand.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming at such short notice, and I know it was rather short notice. So first I want to address having to cancel the press conference on Friday. As you know, we were served with grand jury subpoenas on Thursday, And in my 13 years as coroner, I've never been served with a grand jury subpoena.
See?
And I looked into it, and I believe, at least in the history of Hamilton County in the last 40 years, that hasn't happened to any of the coroners. So this was new territory. We had to learn some things. We had to consult some people. We had to ask a lot of questions. And so I decided putting off the press conference until we got some answers was the better way to handle things. So thank you for coming for the delayed press conference, shall we say, postponed. In the interim, I understand that some of the autopsy findings have...
I just want to say thank you, Inmate, for putting Clay G Beats link in the chat. Appreciate it. So people just go right over and find them. Okay, so check it out, family.
...and relayed to the public. And I just thought that the public should hear that from us, from our office directly, so that they get the facts straight and so that the information is correct. I want to start off with saying, first of all, our condolences.
Kendall, I smell stank too.
Because this is not easy for anybody. And no matter what family you are, there are victims in this, and they're not just the people that have passed away. It's really the family members who are left to deal with their grief. So in the interest of hopefully easing some of the pain, and also to be able to provide the media, and you have sent me many written requests asking for the preliminary autopsy findings, and we've always worked well together in trying to provide the information and the truth to the public. So I'm counting on you to do that here. And so I thought I will give you a copy of this when I'm done with the press conference, but I wanted to at least give you the preliminary autopsy findings on Ryan Hinton. So Mr. Hinton had 3 gunshot wounds to his body. And this is in no particular order, but there was one in the left forearm, and there was an entrance wound and an exit wound, and it was soft tissue injury only. Did not contact any bone, and just skin wounds, entrance and exit. There was a second gunshot wound in the left lateral chest, so underneath the axilla, meaning the armpit, and that one did traverse the chest, and it did traverse through the left ventricle, and it exited the chest near the sternum. We believe that is the lethal wound. There was a third, basically just beneath the skin wound, and it was in the right posterolateral chest, adjacent to the shoulder, and it was soft tissue only. It traveled beneath the skin and ended just beneath the skull, and we were able to retrieve that bullet. So Mr. Hinton's cause of death is a gunshot wound to the torso. Left lateral chest, we believe, was the lethal wound. And his manner of death is homicide.
Wow.
So I wanted to make sure.
Wow. Well, she labeled it. She labeled it H. Homos, you know what? LCL, salute. Another moderator in the house. Yes. Y'all see what she labeled it. And she labeled it as homicide.
You got the exact facts from us and relayed that to the public. And again, there are no words to express our grief and our sorrow to the family members.
Yep. Kendall R., you remember when we did that video and I showed him on the side when he ran from that dumpster? He was on the side, and he was running. And so you remember when I said it too? I said when he hit him, probably in the side or the shoulder, it turned him around. And then he probably got hit again in the front. Remember I said that? before she even did this. I was just studying and we was looking at, because I showed y'all, I said, this the officer elbow right here. I said, and that's the smoke that's coming out of the weapon. I said, so it looked like, I said, if the smoke is coming out the weapon, he at a side angle because he was coming from the dumpster running. He ran through the dumpster. He didn't stop or nothing like that. He just ran straight through the dumpster. And then it hit him in his side. I said, most likely when he got hit like in that shoulder area part, it kind of swung him to face the cop, probably to fall back, like, and then it was another one that hit him in the chest. She said that was the lethal one, and then it was another one somewhere up beneath the skull. Now she said she don't know if that one traveled to that area after the chest and the shoulder. Maybe the shoulder one traveled up towards that part, or the chest one traveled up to that part. But it's 3 wounds. So yeah. Shanita said, I'm just hearing about this case, always keeping me in the know. I eat knowledge at this cafe. Yes, Shanita. We was talking about Ryan. You remember? I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember when his father saw the footage and they said they could come and review the body cam? And they was told one thing at first. So when they reviewed the body cam, the father wasn't feeling the way that body cam was showing. And the father kind of snapped. And then he ran into an innocent officer who was directing traffic for a graduation. And that officer fell to his demise. So they have Ryan's father in custody now. And there's some more going on with Ryan's father family. He just dropped like a $20 million or something lawsuit saying that they violated his rights when they arrested him, or they, kind of jumped on him or whatever when they arrested him, which we didn't know that. I seen the bruise on his forehead and stuff, but I thought they came from the car accident. I don't know, so I'm going to check more into that and see what his father's lawsuit is all about. And the lawyer that represents his father said, they was asking him for comments about that lawsuit. He said, I didn't write the lawsuit. I don't agree with the lawsuit. Somebody else did that lawsuit. I just represent him in this legal matter about running into the police officer. So that's what the lawyer said, family. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it said he didn't. Anyone did. Did he? Well, it said he didn't. Anyone did he? I don't know. Well, Kendall R, you remember you remember when it first happened, they had said something else happened to Ryan. They said that Ryan pulled out a weapon or something like that, but we never saw it and stuff like that. So everybody was waiting on that autopsy. And then when you see the body cam was shaky too, but the family was allowed to view it. But it don't matter with it being shaky or not. The family just didn't like the way the body cam footage, what they saw on it, because it didn't coincide with what they was first told. Okay. And what the public was first told. Okay, then we went past that point and everybody was saying, we want to see what the autopsy say, because the autopsy could clearly tell you how he was done, how he was hit, and all that. And when she got ready to release the statement, autopsy take a minute, and she did good by having it ready almost like a week and a half after Ryan's demise. But then she was stopped with a subpoena. So after she got all her stuff together and talked to certain people and representatives and stuff like that to see could she go head on and put this out anyway. She did it. And she did it yesterday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, she did it. She did it yesterday. And this is what um it says. Hinton sustained 3 pow wounds, according to the Hamilton County's coroner. The fatal one entered into the chest near the armpits, okay, and the left side hitting his heart, while another one glazed his right shoulder area. And I believe that's the one that grazed, you know, when he was running and it grazed him, like kind of gave him a force to turn around. And then that's when I feel like that chest one hit. So the coroner initial press conference was delayed due to a grand jury subpoena, a first in her 13-year tender. Henson family dispute the police chief initial account of the Powell sighting, inconsistencies with the coroner's findings. And that's true. Because that's what we was waiting on, to see what that coroner said, and that's what the coroner said. So wow. Now that's on that right there. So we know now how it happened to Ryan, and she declared, she has on his certificate, homicide. Okay, that's what she wrote. Ain't no accidental. She didn't put no accidental demise, nothing like that. She has strictly homicide. Okay, that's what she labeled it as. So now let me show y'all, family. That one I'm being caught. We said within 2 days somebody gonna get caught. Oh yeah, somebody gonna get caught within a couple of days. And there it is. The 5th fugitive arrested. The inmate escaped. Law enforcement agency working collectively to locate the inmates who escaped from the Orleans Parish Correctional Facility on May 16, 2025. They arrested him. Oh, Corey. Yes, Corey Boyd. They arrested him, and he was originally in there on charges of second-degree deletion, attempted second-degree deletion, and aggravated battery. He will now face additional charges related to the escape. Yes. Yes, family. So you see there? You see there? We had already said when they put them 20K on top they head, we had already said, oh, they good as caught. They're going to start getting caught within the next 2 days. And there it was. He's caught. He was caught. Yep. Now, family, let me see what y'all saying. Oh, okay. This is the son. Yes, think I know. Yeah. Kendall L said, I wonder what took them so long to say this report. Yeah, but you see now what it was. You see now what it was. She had got a grand jury subpoena, which was saying she couldn't say nothing. They really knew that autopsy probably would show some things that coincide with the body cam. Because even me, I pinpointed how it probably happened, and she came and said, most likely that's how it happened. But she said how it happened. She said about the chest and all that. Yep. So now Max said, I swear if playing hide and seek was a class, all these dudes will get an F. I ain't lying. Yes. And the sad part is they said he messed around there, went back to the hood, but got on social media with one of the hood friends talking about, I'm out. We free. I said, what? He can't be that. He couldn't be. And then again, allegedly that was him on that social media, and in the background you could see like the apartments or whatever, and they shot over there because they was on a live, right? And they shot over there, surrounded the whole place. Now everybody want to run inside. They wasn't playing with nobody out there. And then here they come with him. So it looked like he snitched on himself. So do he get them 20K? Because it looked like he snitched on himself going on social media with one of his friends. His friends didn't say, hey, come on over here. No, his friend was already, it's like they was hanging outside at nighttime or something like that. And they was hanging outside, and allegedly they say that was him jumped in his friend's thing. Oh, your boy is out. Your boy is out, and it was dark, but they said that was him. But next thing you know, they flew over there and everybody went scattering. And I think it took them like until daylight to pull him from wherever he was, but they got him. Yep. One was asleep on the bus bench. What? Inmate. He might as well stay in prison. Yes. Wow. Man, that show you they didn't have nowhere to go. See, when you're gonna break out like that, you're supposed to have some plans. It's obvious they didn't have not one plan, because Inmate said one was caught sleeping at a bus bench. The other one, you remember, he went up under a car over there by Bourbon Street in a hotel's parking garage. Then this one here done ran clean to the hood. They should have had a plan before they even tried to get up out of there. They didn't have no plan. They just wanted to get out, but didn't have a plan. They didn't have no car. They didn't have no nothing. Wow. Now, family, this is the kicker. Old boy here is arrested. Oh, but let me tell y'all this before we get here, the maintenance man. But these guys right here, just like Inmate said, that if they had class on this, all of them would get an F, because this don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? And the way they did it. And if you look at his charges, they are deep. And all of them have real deep charges. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something else in a minute after this, but this the maintenance man, family. Now, the maintenance man done took his butt, and they done arrested the maintenance man for helping them 10 get up out of their family. Yes, he up under $1.1 million bond. You can't make this up. And y'all don't want to hear why he in that bond. Why he got that $1.1 million bond in the bond. Backyard Jeffrey. That ain't his name though. I'm just calling him Backyard Jeffrey, because it's no way this man should have risked his job for 10 milk duds. No way. Now, he admitted, family. This is the maintenance man, okay? He is the maintenance man. This man messed around there, and he told it that he turned off the water to the toilet. That covered, that toilet that covered the water. He turned the water off. That way that when the inmates remove the toilet, that it won't overflood. Because if it overflood, then, they would have been alerted quick. He turned the water off. This backyard rooster done turned the water off. So you get a $1.1 million bond for turning off water. In my Fred Sanford voice, you big dummy. Yes, yes. It's no way. It's no way. Now, Sterling Williams has jacked his whole life up over those 10 milk duds that escaped. Now, can you imagine having a good paying maintenance job for the city? For the city. He got a good maintenance job for the city, doing okay for himself and his family. Now he facing life for cutting up water. Come on now. You have a nice paying job and you mess it up because you cut off water. And the sad part about it is, can you imagine him? He in jail now. And they ask him, hey man, what you in here for? Cutting off water. What? Cutting off what? What that don't make no sense. I'm talking about what you booked for, man. Cutting off water. Man, don't nobody get booked for cutting off water. What you talking about? Oh no, I cut off the water so the inmates can escape. They'll probably whoop his butt because, man, you had a good job like that and you risked it for cutting off water. Well, he said that the inmates threatened him, family. He said he didn't have no choice. He was scared of the inmates and they was threatening him and they was threatening his family. How they threatening your family and they locked up? How they threatening you and they locked up? But this is the excuse he using, that he was scared of them, family. Yeah. I'm telling you, the governor and those rest of officials, I let y'all hear the governor talk. I let y'all hear the FBI done stepped in. I let y'all hear that man talk. Then the big sheriff man was talking. All three of them was talking. They had already said they weren't playing with these people. And so I really do feel they most likely going to try to get this man about 40 years for cutting off water. Because you got to remember, this was the biggest and the largest jailbreak in New Orleans history. It embarrassed that state. It embarrassed that state. And see, they was already embarrassed a couple of months back when that man took his truck and ran through Bourbon Street and he deleted a lot of people. And then it come to find out, they had those barricades needed, those iron barricades. They had it in their warehouse. They was just too lazy to bring it out. But they gonna say they didn't know that they was in the warehouse. Yes, y'all did, because we done seen them things before. So they was already embarrassed when that incident happened. Then a couple of months later, not even a year, close to a year, but not even a year, this happens and it embarrassed them again. So they gonna try to get this man here about 40 years for cutting off water. I'm sorry. Jerry K. Lipcomb, thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you for your donation. Thank you. Trouble your under cafe of knowledge. Prepare for what's coming up. Yeah. Prepare for what's coming. Yes. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So he is in trouble, but he said that they threatened him. So as y'all see, Sterling Williams' total bond amount has been set at $1.1 million, $100,000 for each charge he is facing. If you are helping any of the escaped inmates in any way, you too will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Boy. This is, you know what I'm saying? This man had a good job. And he said that these right here, backyard roosters, threatened him, and he had to turn off the water so they could get up out of there. And he the maintenance man. You remember they said that they wasn't able to get out of that place without, they had to go into the maintenance room, and said that toilet led to the maintenance room. So you know that led to the maintenance man. Point blank, period. It led to the maintenance man. Right there. Right there. That don't make no sense. Let me see what y'all saying. Damn. M. Max said, damn, he should have only let a couple of minutes. Yeah, they put, yeah. M. Max, they gave him $100,000 for each head for escaping. You see what I'm saying? So since 10 of them got out of there, it's a meal. It's a meal. He got 1.1, $100,000 for each head that got out of there, and he responsible for it. Now, is it any more people responsible for it? I don't know. He didn't say. Only thing he told the people, now he's trying to get out of it by saying, y'all got to look how they record is. These are some hardcore inmates. And they said that they was going to do something to me. They threatened me if I didn't cut off that water. Well, okay. They in their cell. I don't think he going to pass with that one, family. Because they in their cell. All he had to do is when everybody is locked down. Because they said that he had been talking to these inmates for a couple of days before the escape. It wasn't like they hit him up that day and then escaped, where he was kind of didn't know what to do. They said this was about a 2-3 day process. You know, because that hole, they had to put, somebody had to put that hole behind the toilet. So when he turned the water off and they pull that toilet, they can go through that hole and go in the maintenance room and then out the door. Okay. So they saying that, well, if he was being threatened, why he just didn't go to somebody and say, hey, look here, I'm finna tell y'all, he could have went to anybody. Even if it wasn't one of the guards in there, he could have went to one of the big superiors that was on the conference. He could have went to all of them and said, hey, look, these guys are threatening my life. They threatening this. Y'all might want to put them in lockdown with no phone, no nothing, because they trying to escape. And then they could have probably did a setup to see if he was telling the truth. He telling the truth, or wired them up. He telling the truth. And then they could have put them guys like in a hole to where they can't make phone calls to make his family or him be in danger. I don't know. I just don't think they're gonna buy it, family. I'm just saying. What y'all saying? They wrote a message on the wall. Yeah, they wrote a message on the wall. Kendall, they said this was too easy. Basically, they were talking about him. That, hey, this was too easy. Y'all got a flunky inside of this here correction center. He is a slap flunky. He looked like he might give you a tough time. Ain't nothing but a flunky. This was too easy. We just told him, hey, turn that water off and cut a hole behind that wall. And he just said, okay. That's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. Yep. Yep. That's what it's giving, family. Because they wrote on that wall, this was too easy, LOL. So basically, they not saying that it was easy to get the toilet out from over there, because I have seen a video where they was pulling and pulling and pulling. I mean, it took a minute. So that part wasn't easy. They talking about the backyard rooster up here that they probably didn't even threaten them. They probably say, hey man, turn that water off and cut a hole back there, or else we gonna get you and your family. Okay. That's about all they said. That's about all they said. Yes. Yes. They wrote as soon as they got, who had time to write on the wall, this is too easy, LOL. They talking about him, that he's scary. And they saying this was too easy because think about it. If he had gave them some pushback, like, man, I ain't doing none of that, it ain't easy. But they probably hit him up 2-3 days. Hey, when you gonna do that? I'm still working on that wall, man. I ain't got it cut all the way out yet, but I'm working on it. And that's why they say this was too easy. So, yeah, it was too easy. So you got them left, and most likely they're gonna get caught again. Yeah, they're gonna be caught again. Yeah, they're gonna be caught. And my thing is this, because these right here, they're gonna be caught very soon. They got what? I think it's 5 more left. They got 5. I don't think they put the Corey Board. I don't have it where his strike. He should have one, because that's the one that ran over there in the hood on social media, and then he was surrounded a couple of hours later. So it's 5 left up there. But they all hardcore, family. Yeah, they all hardcore. But I'm going to tell you right now, it won't be long before they get caught. Because somebody bound to want to go to Ruth Chris. They bound to want to have their refrigerator stocked from top to bottom. They bound to want a back deck. It's hot out here. Oh, yeah. It won't be long. Watch, 2 more days, somebody going to be like, 911, how may I help you? Hey, y'all still good for them $20K for one of those escape inmates? Yeah, yeah, we are. Okay, I know where one at, right here. Come to 88828. Come get his ass Boulevard. Hell yeah, they good as got. Watch, in 2 more days, somebody gonna say, come to 88828. Come get his ass Boulevard. Watch. They want them $20K. They want them $20K. And they gonna get it. They good as through. They good as through. So we gonna go to Diddy. But yeah, I say, what's today? Wednesday. I say about Saturday. I say another one gonna get caught by Saturday. I feel like another one gonna get caught by Saturday. Because those $20K, you can tell where this dude here ran to. And I wouldn't be surprised if the one on the live set him up. And then the one on the live tell the 5-0, say, hey, I'm gonna have my live on, and my handle is such and such, such and such. Y'all just tune in, because he over in this area and he my homeboy, but I seen him walking through here. I don't know where he at right now, but I could have him on live, and while I'm on live, y'all come get him. His friend probably did it. Yeah, because his friend went live. If his friend know that he just escaped, why you gonna go live? He the one did jump in it. So the friend must have knew that he dumb enough to jump in this live if I go live, start bragging. And that's exactly what he did. 9 times out of 10, that friend live who did his live gonna get the $20K. He probably at least asked for it. Hey, y'all know that was my live y'all seen. So y'all need to give me them $20K. Yeah, but I believe it was a setup, because they already said, if you are helping them, then you're going to be prosecuted. So if he hadn't informed the police, it would have looked like he was harboring the dude. So I'm thinking old dude had already talked to them boys and told them he know where he at. He'll go live and show them. And then they come right on and get him. And he get them $20K. So anyway, but Diddy sons, they did come to court today. They did. You'll see they came in there for their daddy. So this was the first time they came this week. Now, Diddy this week, he speaks out in court with 4-word message. Diddy said, right here. Now, we already know what he in there for. But they said that he told the people, I love you all, Combs said aloud as the court adjourned for the day, before adding under his breath, yeah, love. So is Diddy trying to be sassy around there? Because, okay, once you said, I love you all right, but then when he's saying this, yeah, love. Because you know love is what he called himself, and that yeah still gives me kind of cockiness. You know? So Diddy need to sit down somewhere. Because he already can't get to his just for me die. And he know he old and gray. And he trying to get up out of there. Because he really can't handle them boys up in there. For real. Ain't no money to be. I mean, you can pay some people to stay up off of you, but you know, your smart mouth now, you know, just trips me out. Now, also, he went on and spoke to a woman in a gallery, telling her what it appears to be reference to his 31-year-old son, Justin Combs. Please let Justin know I'm thinking of him. So then I said, why would Diddy have to tell somebody else to please let him know I'm thinking of him? He don't get phone calls like, you know how they call and they monitor the call and all that stuff. You can call your child and tell him you're thinking about him. So what? Justin ain't picking up the phone or something? Why would somebody else? I mean, that's just like if your kids and stuff come to court and stuff like that, why would you have to tell somebody else, tell my kids I'm thinking about it? Or tell this particular one, tell such and such I'm thinking about it. So that means, is that kid done distanced themselves from him, or the kid is ignoring the phone calls, or the kid is feeling some type of way and you know it, and you still trying to convince him, hey man, you know I'm thinking about you, I love you, I care about you, this like that. I just don't understand that, because there's no way he should have to send that message to nobody. If he did this is on the article allegedly. It's no way he should have to do that. They should already know that. Justin should already know that. You know, it just felt like some tension there. And Shanita said the kid is embarrassed. He could be, but you know, he got a lawsuit on top of his head for doing the same thing that his daddy did. That's what the lady said allegedly, and she was a worker. So if you look it up, you will see where he has. If you look it up, you will see where this one right here has a lawsuit on top of his head right now from a worker that said on the yacht he took it. Yeah. So he should be embarrassed. Yeah, he should be embarrassed. Now, family, the Punisher done got on these people's show, the News Nation, and he did an interview just that quick. So now they kind of funny about their little stuff you playing, and they want to try to say something about it. But now the Punisher, he did say that he didn't see anything unusual about Cassie. And y'all check it out. It's on News Nation. But he did an interview just that quick. Now, this lady here was really trying to make him say he's seen something he's seen that Cassie was uncomfortable. So I'm like, so that's why you brought him on your show? Because she was really trying to push it as, I mean, you didn't see her feel uncomfortable in any kind of way? I mean, you said she sighed, you know, when he said that Cassie gave out a sigh when Diddy was telling them to turn this position, turn that position, as if she was frustrated or whatever. He said, nah, it was basically because my interpretation of it is that, man, just as we get good, you come stopping us and have us turn another direction. So it's almost like a frustration. That's what he was saying. But he kept telling the lady that no, he has never seen a sign from Cassie that she didn't want to participate in anything that they was doing, right? And he said that's his version of the truth. So then she said, well then you dealt with him early on, so maybe early on she was okay with it. But as the time went on, maybe she wasn't so okay with it. He said, I can't speak for none of that. Only thing I could tell you is where I was, what happened when I was there. And that was, they both seemed okay about the whole situation. Actually, she was excited to have me come over. He said she picked me. She was the one communicating with me and everything. Not once did I feel like she was frantic or say, hey, come over here for a minute. Just, I really don't want to do. He said none of that. None of that. So, he just said he felt like it was a couple that's what they did all the time. He said it seems natural. It was seeming natural. Like, man, they do this all the time. He said it just seemed natural. Wasn't nothing uncomfortable on either end. He said he was just shocked to know later on that was Diddy, when the TVs popped on and all that. He said, but other than that, everything was cool. That's what he said. So he said that if it hadn't came out, the accusations and stuff like that, he said if that stuff hadn't never came out, he would have always thought in his head that was just a freaky couple and that he don't deal with them no more. But man, boy, it was this couple, this married couple. Because he said he still thought they was married, and because that's what they told him. So he said he would have never thought that this right here, all that the case and all that stuff was going on. So, yeah. So that was it on that part right there. Now, y'all remember that the investigator had came into the house and he was supposed to be telling us what all he found in the room and all that stuff like that. And it turns to find out, family, he really didn't produce a whole lot. I mean, some things, but I mean, I was just, evidently they got those tapes too. He didn't even say nothing about, and we confiscated some actual videos, tapes, and things like that. He didn't even say that. He just said they had found 3 cell phones inside of a Balenciaga boot in the closet. And he also said another cell phone was seized from a bedroom in the house, according to the stipulations read in court. Gannon began testifying yesterday about other items he said were found in the closet, including personal lubricants, lingerie, upper and lower receivers of AR, and said that he is the one over H traffic investigations, okay, and he was assigned to that. But he also said, now he went in there on he said investigative special agent in charge at the March 2024 search at Combs Miami Beach home, okay? And the jury is now seeing pictures of S toys and a pair of red high heels. He said he found in the master bedroom of the closet. He said that he pulled out some shoes from the closet. It was about 18 pair of them. They was the platform heel kind, okay, that was recovered for. But I'm saying, if you look at it, now that he's saying he found heels, he found lingerie, he found that AR, and he said all the weapons in Diddy's house was defaced. The serial numbers was all scratched off of them, Okay, so they can't even identify who those weapons belong to. They don't know, okay, because they've been defaced. But my thing is, now that they said that it was lingerie and all that stuff in the closet, you can easily say, well, whoever lingerie and high heel shoes is in there, say it was 18 pair of those high heel shoes. Now they could say it could have been that person's weapons, you know? And so then he could throw it off on somebody else. And then, but that somebody else will have to come to court and say, no, it ain't mine, it's his. You know, but my thing is, that's what he said he found. And then he also said, he found a Gucci bag in the closet contained an assortment of pills, white powder, a crystal rocket-like substance, a plastic straw, $100 bill, and other items, he said. The powder and residue from the straw tested positive for cocaine and K-mine, according to a stipulation read in court. Residue from the $100 bill tested positive for cocaine, K-mine, he said. A bottle of eye drop found in the bag tested positive for MDMA. If y'all don't know what MDMA is, that's Molly. Okay. And K-mine, according to the stipulations. Various tablets test positive for Molly, according to the stipulations. Other tablets tested positive for that alpha, which is an active ingredient for Xan. Some tested positive for K-mine, and others tested positive for the meth and Molly, according to the stipulation. Man, they was getting zooted around that camp. That's a lot of different stuff. That's a lot of different street candy. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Allegedly, Shanita, because I mean, wow. And for the eye drop, that eye drop found in that bag was positive for that Molly and K-mine. Man, that's messed up. That's messed up. That's messed up. So that's what he said, and then he got off the stand basically, but he didn't really give no details of, and we confiscated video and we confiscated, this. I was like, that's all. But now that drug stuff, that's a lot. That's a lot to be in somebody's house. You could get charged for that. Now, what he didn't say is really the amount. They didn't say like it was a pound of this, 2 pounds of this, or something like that. He didn't say the amount. So that makes a big difference too. Because the amount, I said, well, no, at least he could have said the amount. We would have known if they were saying that's to distribute, or was it enough to say that a person is a distributor, or was it just enough for personal use? Because if it was enough to distribute, then I could see where the kind of the racketeering, because the assistant was already saying that he would go to Diddy's house and pick up this and pick up that and take it back to parties. He would pick up different medication, street candy, and then take it to Diddy parties. So, but they didn't say. Now, this lady here is supposed to be an expert, family, on let me see what y'all saying before I start on her. Yes. But anyway, this lady here supposed to be an expert on what victims act like or whatever. And this is where the defense Diddy team was kind of tearing her apart, because she was basically telling how relationships, a person who is being done wrong in a relationship, being windmilled on, the reason why they come back is because they really love that person and they still want to hang on to a little bit of the good that they know that the person used to have or have. So they really don't leave and all that. So she's supposed to be this type of expert, right? And so her name was Hughes. And so the prosecutor brought her up there because she is supposed to be an expert in this field and just tell you about how victims, why they keep coming back and returning, right? And they don't leave and they'll go through a lot and all the motions and all that, okay? She also said that the victim could want to come back to the good version of their partner that they still do love. She said they may also return because the abusive behavior is still continuing outside of the relationship. Like if they try to leave and they done left, that person still follow them and still be abusing them even though they out. And so then they'll just come on back to the house or come on back into the relationship because that person is steady harassing and hounding them and, still windmilling on them even though they out of the relationship. And then that makes that person come back. So that's what she was saying, stuff like that. But what got me, family, was this right here. Okay, she was talking about the victims too. And then that she was saying, you remember when Cassie, sometimes she don't remember some incidents and stuff like that. And she said it's common for the victims to say that they can't remember what happened or what time or what day or what month that they got windmilled on. She said most of them can remember if it's an instinctive day, like it was on my birthday or it was on the anniversary or we went to Miami and we went on a cruise. I remember him doing it then. She said they'll remember the incident easier when it's a situation like a birthday or anniversary, something like that. That's if they going through it all the time. They don't remember every time. They only remember stuff that stands out like a birthday or something like that. So she was saying that. But Diddy lawyers, they got up there and they told her, the psychologist confirmed that she never testified in the defense of a man accused of a S crime. I don't evaluate offenders. So Diddy's team asked her, okay, you telling everybody about what a victim feels like and what they go through and why they come back and all that. They said, what about the person who committed the crime? Like, what about the accuser? Could you tell us what's going through their head and all that stuff like that? She was like, I don't evaluate offenders. So no, she can't tell them nothing about that. So Diddy team was like, okay, if you're an expert, you should kind of know about both of them, right? But anyway, check this out. Then Diddy team asked Hughes, that's the psychologist, they asked her about training she gave in DV victims advocates who may need to testify in court. So what this lady really does is she goes out and she teaches people how to be a witness in court to kind of make sure you make that person that y'all are going up against look real bad. So she's an advocate for DV victims and she trains. About training she gives to DV abusive victim advocates. So she trains advocate and then it come out in court, she's an advocate. Okay, so an expert is supposed to be up there and supposed to just give you what they know about a certain situation and then that's it. But in her case, they are saying Diddy's team, she is an advocate for DV. This just not her job to kind of study the victims. She is an advocate. She'll go out there. She teaches, she training people how to be an expert in the courtroom, to defeat the courtroom, to pin the person they going up against. If y'all can follow that. And that's when Diddy's lawyer was saying, nah, that ain't fair. Because she an advocate. She two people in one. She's an expert and then an advocate. Okay? And so it says here, when she was asked, Hughes said she believed the group he was speaking about, that Diddy lawyers were speaking about, had received a grant from the Department of Justice under the Violence Against Women Act. So, not only do she advocate and teaches people, she teaches advocates who advocate for victims. Follow me now. Follow me, family. Because it did get complicated when I was, listening to it, whatever. But she teaches advocates who protect victims to how to go to court and be an expert witness in court to where they can most likely beat that case every time. Okay? She's training them how to do it. So then she says that the group that she teaches get checks from the Department of Justice. That's the feds. So that means she getting paid. She also gets paid by the feds. And they asked her, do she work for, basically the Department of Justice? She said, yeah. So then they saying that's a conflict of interest. You can't do that. So see how they was talking to the judge. Diddy team was like, no, this ain't right here. So then they kept asking her. They asked Hughes about a webinar presentation she gave in 2015 about preparing for court testimony. The prosecution said they don't believe the presentation showed any evidence of potential bias from her. The defense, Diddy's lawyer, said the webinar was training for advocates for DV. How come it's not relevant and biased? Okay? Because she's sitting up here. She is so-called expert, but she also is a hardcore advocate for the victims. Okay? And she trains people how to come up on the stand and just how to outsmart the court, basically. So anyway, Diddy lawyer asked her about 6 meetings she had with the prosecution concerning her testimony, some of which had been since the trial started. Hughes, that's the expert, that's the psychologist, had maintained that prosecutors have not discussed specifics of the case with her. Now listen what she said, because that's what she said. Then they're going to catch something. Okay? Then the defense attorney, Diddy attorney, asked Hughes, is someone who makes most of her money as a professional witness and comes to the stand with a certain type of perspective, he said is very relevant that the defendants telling the court that expert witnesses are very dangerous. He was telling them that expert witnesses are very dangerous because they come in with the aura of authority, like she's trained. We know that she's trained in her profession, but she's also an advocate for victims, and she's trained to kind of say things in certain ways that'll make sure that person get pinned. That's what his lawyer's saying, you know. So then Diddy lawyer asks Hughes to confirm she has not gathered detailed information about specific facts of this case. Hughes said that's correct and added, I'm not rendering any opinions about a specific individual. When asked, Hughes said she heard there's someone named Cassie in the case. How does she know? See, she said she ain't talked to the prosecutors. None of that. None of that. So how do you know that the person y'all talking about name is Cassie? Because remind y'all, inside of the court, all through her testimony, because she's an expert, they don't use names. They just said, if a victim is going through this, why would a victim come back? And she'll just say, well, a victim is to do this, and a victim would do that. Then they'll ask another question, but they'll say, what does a victim go through in their mind when they first leave their abuser? And she'll say, well, a victim would do this. Y'all see what I'm saying? It's no names ever mentioned. And you remember she said she has not talked to the prosecutors about this case. Said she ain't talked to nobody about this case. But all of a sudden right here, she says when Diddy lawyer asks her about, he confirmed she has not gathered any detailed information about the specific facts of this case. She says, correct. No, she haven't. I'm not rendering any opinion about a specific individual. When asked, Hughes said she heard there's someone named Cassie in this case. So Diddy lawyers confirmed the forensic and, like, okay, she didn't hear about Cassie's testimony or review records about Cassie, or she didn't know, she says she don't know anything about Cassie's drug use. She don't know nothing about this case, but she do know Cassie's name. How is that? Because you remember, that's why they got a note down here. Remember, she said earlier today, she testified that she's a blind expert. A blind expert means you knows nothing about this case. You don't know who is in this case until she sat down and saw Sean Diddy Combs. She know him, but she wasn't supposed to know anything about the name of the victim that they was calling victim inside of the courtroom. When they was questioning her, they was saying victim. They never said Cassie's name. She said, oh yeah, I heard somebody say somebody's name was Cassie. What? Well, you did discuss it with somebody. And then you remember, Diddy's lawyer said, you have been talking to the prosecution a lot of times. Even during this trial, you had a meeting with the prosecutors about 5 or 6 times. She said, yeah, but we didn't discuss nothing about the trial. We didn't discuss about nobody in this trial. So they was like, okay, so you had all those meetings with the prosecutors and they didn't go over nothing about this case with you? She was like, no. But then she come right on the stand and say she know it's Cassie, somebody named Cassie. So, that was a big boo-boo, So, but that was it on that. So what y'all saying? Bae Solo, thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you so much for your donation. It's greatly appreciated. What else? LCL. He said won't be me. LCL said won't be me. Somebody did tell. But anyway, this is one of Diddy's other assistants. The other one, he quit because Diddy and them had him riding to go meet some Suge Knight to fight, and he wasn't built like that. This is the next one. Okay, his name is George Kaplan. Now, George said that he started working for Diddy, and he's a former executive assistant to Sean Diddy Combs. Is now taking a stand. He is the 12th witness so far, and Kaplan received a subpoena to appear. Earlier today, he invoked his Fifth Amendment right to not testify on the grounds of potential self-incrimination. So what the judge did was sign him an immunity order so that he could testify. So now he has immunity. But when he got on that stand, he was like, nah, dog, I'm not going to be able to tell y'all nothing about no Diddy. Because if I do, I'm going to incriminate myself. And then y'all be trying to walk me back there with him too. And I'm not doing it. Mm-mm. So the judge said, you ain't got to worry about it. I going to give you immunity. And you got immunity, so go ahead and testify. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's how that happened. So he got his immunity. And a lot of them did, because they was doing some things that was wrong, and that could send them to jail. So he also said that his day would typically start with Diddy around 9:30 a.m. and he would make sure that the chef and the housekeeper staff were ready for the day. He said he would also make sure Combs' bathroom was set up with his toiletries and medication. Same thing that the other one was doing. The earliest he could ever remember finishing a day was around 5 or 6 p.m., and the latest he could ever remember was around 7 a.m. He said typically he worked 80 to 100 hours weekly and was paid $125,000. Okay. He said he started working for Combs Enterprise in 2013. Now, remember, the other one left in 2011 because he said that he was not finna be doing all that boys in the hood stuff, looking for Suge Knight and all that. So this one here came in 2013. About 10 months later, he was promoted to Sean Diddy Combs executive assistant. He reported to Christina Courtroom, that's Diddy's chief of staff, whom he said essentially ran his life. So what he's saying, I've been hearing a lot about this Christina. They do say this person here allegedly basically runs Diddy life. And I'm wondering what do she got on him? Because they said that he basically do everything this woman here say. But anyway, Diddy Combs hired a licensed security group in the second half of 2015. His former executive assistant Kaplan testified. This group was more professional, more polished than Combs' former longtime security guard and seemed to have a lot of real-time training, Kaplan said. He also said that he communicated with Combs daily, exchanging texts, calls, emails multiple times a day about things he needed, which could include clothing and potentially food from somewhere, or drug, or liquor, or an iPad, or a speaker. Okay. He also testified that he used to get threatened by his boss almost monthly. Combs would remark that he wanted to be surrounded by the best, and those around him at the time were not performing at that level, Kaplan recalled. Sometimes Combs was angry, and other times motivational when he said it, Kaplan said. During Kaplan's first week of work for Combs, he alleged Kaplan, he assigned Kaplan to find a 1-gallon BP EPA free water bottle at Whole Foods. The store didn't have it, so he bought back 2 half-gallons instead. Combs was angry and told Kaplan he did not bring him what he asked for. He was very close to my face, Kaplan said. So he sent him to the store to get a gallon of the BPA free water bottle, but he bought back 2 gallons because they didn't have the 1 gallon. And Diddy said, "No, I don't do substitutes. I do the real thing." So I think that he should have said, let me call this man and tell him, or call that girl, his right-hand girl or whatever, that, hey, they don't have the gallon. Do he want me to get the 2 half-gallons? And if they say, no, he don't do 2 half-gallons, don't bring that back, then they could tell him a store that have Diddy gallon. But he didn't do that. So, Darlene Chestnut, salute. So glad to see you in the house. So glad to see you in the house. Yes. And so he just bought back the wrong thing, family. And Diddy wasn't having it. He said Diddy was close to his face. He did say that, Diddy was acting a fool in his face about not having that, that bringing back the wrong thing. He said he almost got fired on that first day. But Diddy, I guess, let it slide. He said he traveled with Combs in various destinations, including New York, Miami, Atlanta, D.C., and Orlando. He would either fly on Combs' private jet with him or fly in advance on a commercial flight to ensure that Combs' login were set up properly. So, he did all, I don't think it was no, okay. Then he testified that the first time he was told to set up the hotel room for Combs, he was given a bag and told to unpack it. The bag had clothes, a speaker, candles, liquor, baby oil, and lube in it. After that first time, he said he would often buy the same supplies with his corporate credit card. He said Combs and Christina Combs, former chief of staff. So she's a former chief of staff. We're going to have to get a picture of that Christina Cohen. That's what we should have did. Because she is really involved in this thing. Is she going to testify? Because it seems like she is, if you're going to say Diddy is the co-conspirator or Diddy is the mastermind or something like that, this chick here is almost giving Epstein and his girl. That's what it's given to me. It's like every time you read on Epstein, you would see Maxine, whatever her name is, you would see her right behind his name every time. And it seems like in a lot of these testimonies, we keep hearing Combs and the Christina. Combs and the Christina. Combs and the Christina. She's the former chief of staff. So, Granny G, salute. Thank you so much for coming in the house, Granny G. Yes. So I don't know. Something's real weird about the Christina. And I don't know. I'm still tripping off that Christina because that name is coming up a whole lot, family. And if you racketeering, I could, that's what he's charged with. But we keep hearing this Christina, but ain't nobody bringing Christina to the stand. Now, we still got 6.5 weeks to go, but just pay attention, family. You keep seeing that Combs' right-hand chick is this Christina. And anyway, Kaplan said he came to understand part of his role was protecting Combs' image, protecting him and protecting his public image was very important. and that was something I was very keen on doing, he said. Typically, there be Gatorade bottles, liquor bottles, baby oil strewn around the hotel room after Combs left, Kaplan said. On one occasion, he cleaned up a brown crystallized powder off of a countertop, he testified. Kaplan didn't know what it was, but he cleaned it up just in case, he said. Well, if you cleaned it up just in case, you about knew what it was. Boy, these people be trying to play on your top. Yeah, because if you thought it was sugar, you would never mention it. He also, his former assistant, recounted 2 times. He said he picked up drugs on Combs' behalf, once in Miami and once in Los Angeles. Yeah, see, that's why he wanted that immunity. That's why he got up there talking about, I ain't saying nothing. I plead the fifth. I'm not finna get up here and incriminate myself. And then the judge said, don't worry about it. I got you. I give you immunity. Go ahead on and testify. We see now. Because he sure was delivering drugs and stuff all off in Miami and Los Angeles. He said both times Combs gave him cash and a number to call. And then Kaplan arranged to pick up the drugs. One time he picked up MDMA, that Molly, and the other time he didn't know what substance it was, he testified. Okay. Court was adjourned. So that was it. So it continues with him. He left off saying about all the stuff that he picked up doing drug, thing. So the jury is dismantled for today. Mr. Kaplan, a former assistant of Diddy, will continue testifying on direct examination tomorrow, Thursday, at 9 a.m. Now, Kid Cudi, after that man get through, Kid Cudi's supposed to be next. See right there, Kid Cudi expected to testify tomorrow. That's the one where I'm going to tell you, Kid Cudi, they said that Combs told him that his car was going to blow up. And he said the next day it did just that. They said Kid Cudi's car went up in smoke like a 4th of July barbecue grill. I'm telling you, they said that thing was smoking. So, Granny G, thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you so much for your generous donation. Yeah. So Kid Cudi is supposed to come up. I don't think his thing gonna be too long because he just dealt with Cassie for a short time. It says prosecutors plan to call 5 witnesses after Kaplan tomorrow. I know Kid Cudi is one of them, but he's supposed to he had a brief relationship with Cassie. I think they're gonna have Kid Cudi basically talking about, his car blowing up and who told him that they was gonna blow his car up and things like that, and what type of threats was being made to him while he was dealing with Cassie, and what made him probably leave Cassie alone. That's what it looked like. All he gonna be able to really say. So tomorrow, that assistant is supposed to tell the rest. Now, is he gonna have a story like the first assistant when he said he had to jump in the car and they went looking for Suge Knight and all that stuff? I don't know what this assistant is, but we do know that he was saying he was with Combs in 2013, and he's bringing up some incidents in 2015. And as time went on, they say allegedly Diddy got worse. So maybe his stories are going to be a little bit worse, because you notice the first assistant, he would say, oh, I went to his house, I went in his Louis bag, and I would get a couple of, street candies, then I would take it back to the party. In this case, this assistant is saying he had the money, he would go do the runs, he would pick it up. Did he give him a number to call? He would call the number and pick up the goods and then take it back. So now it seems like it's getting deeper and deeper. And I think the closer to the end of the trial, it's going to get deeper and deeper and deeper. Because this man here seems like he's doing a whole lot. And for him to sit down and say, I ain't saying nothing. I'm really waiting to see what the rest he got to say tomorrow. Because I understand about he did that traffic thing. But it most likely is more than that for him to say, nah, I ain't going to be able to help y'all out. I plead the fifth. And then for the judge to sit up there and say, I do it. I give you immunity. And he gives them immunity. So most likely that assistant tomorrow have a whole lot more to say. That's my opinion. Yep. It already be about 9 o'clock, and I just want everybody to get a good night rest. I try to stop it a little bit before 9 and stuff. Do anybody want to call in? If so, put yes in the chat. If not, just don't put anything, and we'll shut it down. We'll shut it down. If not, if somebody put yes in there that they have something to say about this situation, then we'll give the number out. But if not, we'll all have a nice night, and then we'll see what this assistant has to say for him to plead for immunity. And I'm wondering, did he even have a lawyer, family? Because for him, because usually if you have a lawyer, you'll talk to your lawyer first, and then your lawyer take care of that immunity before you even get up there. They'd be like, okay, let me make sure that the prosecution give you immunity before we even do this, agree to do it. So most likely he just came up there with himself, representing himself, but he knew how to do it. I ain't saying nothing. I plead the fifth. Y'all ain't finna have me going back there in the back with no Diddy. No, I spent enough time with him. I plead the fifth. Yep. So let me see what y'all saying in the chat right there. Thank you so much. Let me read some of that. LCL, realizing she put her foot in her mouth. Yes, they're talking about that expert done put her foot in her mouth. Done hollered Cassie's name out. Good too. They say, well, you ain't know nothing about this case. No, I don't know nothing about this case. And remember, she is labeled coming in and told the jury she is a blind expert. She's a blind expert coming in. And then messed around there and say, well, yeah, somebody told me about a Cassie is involved in this. What? Thought you was a blind expert. She did put her foot in her mouth. See, that's what I'm saying. The prosecutor they have a pretty good, solid case on their end of their documents. But it's when they witnesses get up there, it's like either now they frogging up or they done told some tales and can't remember the tales. But most of the witnesses is kind of, you're catching them in certain things that's kind of making it a little weak, And I don't feel it's the prosecutor's fault. I feel it's the witness' fault. I don't know, I just don't know. But they're making a lot of boo-boos right now that they can't afford to make. I'm going to tell you, they can't afford for another witness to get up there and stink up the joint. They just can't afford it right now because this a week and a half of stinking up the joint. So they got to have some witnesses that's going to be strong. And when Diddy team come at them, they can't come at them with, you just told us this a few minutes ago. Now you're saying this. Which one is it? Oh, did I? No, they can't have them kind no more. They can't have it because it gets weaker and weaker and weaker. So, yeah, in Queen's Cafe voice. Yeah. She did. And then Darlene Chestnut, the judge can say that while someone is testifying. Yeah, he can. What else? M. Mac, if Kid Cudi testifies that Diddy threatened him before the car bombing or took credit afterwards. It's a rental rap. Yeah, you're right. We definitely gonna see, because that's what I'm waiting to see, how that happened. Yeah, but it sure blew up. It was smoking like a barbecue grill, what they say. Um, and Matt, Diddy is really going to regret not taking that plea deal. Yeah, he might will. Yep. Wow. So I'm definitely waiting to see. So I shut it down, and I am waiting to see what that assistant gonna say, because he wanted immunity bad, family. He did. And I mean, he was not playing. That he went up there and they thought they was finna start questioning him. He looked at them and said, "Nah, I plead the fifth. I ain't saying nothing around this joint. I plead the fifth. I'm not finna incriminate myself." So evidently he has been doing, he got some stories that he's involved in, and he clearly told one of them right there that he was transporting drugs. So what else did he do? Or was that it? You know? So I don't know. But all right, y'all. So y'all have a good night. Sending love and hugs to everyone as always. Sending love and thank you to the moderators. Thank y'all so much for being in the house. Just thank y'all so much for the great hospitality y'all be giving the chat. Thank you so much to the moderators. Awesome. Thank you to the chat. Y'all be on fire. Everybody in the chat. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for all the generous donations that y'all are sending me. Thank you so much. Sending loves and hugs, and I see y'all tomorrow, most definitely, and see what this assistant say, because he wanted that fifth. I want to see, and it better not be nothing. That better not be all that what he said he did in Miami and Los Angeles. That better not be all, or we're going to have to ride his bumper. You done got up there acting like you sure enough got some information talking about I plead the fifth. He the only one that has gotten up there talking about I plead the fifth. So if you're the only one that did that, you must have a story to tell. And if you get up here tomorrow and start bull jiving and shucking and jiving, baby, we riding your bumper. Y'all have a nice evening, family. Sending love to all y'all. Bye-bye.